Shalom. Welcome. Story time. I'm going to tell you a little story of a man. We're going to call him, let's say, Aaron. So, Aaron had some very important business he needed to take care of. And there was no automobiles. The means of travel was horseback, donkeys, or your legs. That was about it. Or, rivers and boats. But the weather was horrible. I mean, just rain on top of rain pouring down. The roads were washed out. It was just nasty to travel. You couldn't make fires at night to stay warm. So, of course, he's not traveling in the rain. So, when the rain stopped, he waited a whole entire day. Really, he needed to wait 2 days for it to really clear up. But this business was so important, he had to get down there. So, he packed enough food for the 3 day journey. It wasn't a lot. He had about 10 pieces of fish, 2 or 3 loaves of bread. He had some water, and he was going to stop at the wells in different spots to collect water on the way, so he wasn't so worried about water because there was water on the routes. He woke up early before dawn so he could make his journey before it got hot. Nobody wants to walk in the middle of 80, 90, close to 100-degree weather. You just don't want to do it. So he started this journey really early, right when the sun was cresting to come up. And he's walking on the way. He noticed, the roads really weren't that bad. They were cleared off. They weren't washed out as like he thought. So, it was upside. Walking along, looking at the birds, listening to the animals. Just listening to nature. It was real calm and soothing. He was pretty excited because he had this big business deal he was going to go do. He was going to get some money. Aaron didn't have very much money, but if he landed this business deal, he might actually be able to afford some things. He's going to make about 3-4 months' wages all in this one business deal. So he was pretty upbeat and excited, walking on his way, passing by fellow travelers, waving, conversating, hooked up. So, until about the middle of the day when it got real hot. And he looked over, he found this shade tree, and he went and sat down to cool off. He fixed some of his fish and ate some of his bread, drank a little water, and he noticed there was a well. So, he sat there for several hours, drank his water, filled his water back up, then got up. Once it started cooling off a little, it wasn't the middle of the heat of the day, and Aaron continues to travel. He walks by, waving at people who go by. There's not a lot of people on the road, so any chance he um, gets a little human interaction, waves, talks, the whole thing. And the first day was actually very pleasant. It wasn't a bad walk. The weather was kind of cool. Usually it was much hotter. So I guess where the rain had come through, it was still a little cloudy a little bit, covering the sun. So it was a pretty decent day. And he was pretty upbeat about everything. He decides, I'm going to camp tonight. The sun's starting to go down, and you don't want to travel at night because there's no light at all. Unless it's a full moon, you can't see anything. So he sets up a little tent and gets him a fire going. He's sitting down, reminiscing on this business deal. I mean, he's so excited. So excited. He just couldn't wait to get down there. So he fixes some more of his fish, eats more of his bread, drinks his water, and he makes his bed. He takes his time. He fluffs it up nice and soft. He goes and get extra moss off the trees, and that way he can make it softer. He's used to sleeping on the ground because travels, unless you're going to pay to stay in the end of the city, and between cities, there's no hotels. So you sleep out on the ground. He's used to it. Excited because he's got 2 more days to go. Aaron's upbeat and happy, sitting there in this little camp, looking up at the stars, thinking how beautiful everything is. He's thanking God, finally, I'm going to come out of complete poverty. This really good business deal. He's laying there, and before you know it, he drifts off to sleep. Wakes up right as the sun starts coming up. Gets up, he enthusiastically gets on the path, and he's kind of speed walking because he wants to get there. He sees people, waves, hey, how you doing? One guy actually stopped because Aaron had a little extra water, and there wasn't a well at the time. So he ended up trading the guy some water for some more fish. So he's thinking, haha, more food. Walking on, And here's a loud crash. And turns around. 3 men behind him jumped out of nowhere, hooded men, and they began to pummel him, beat him. They had little knives. They cut him, bleeding. I mean, pummeled him. He was close to death, as close as you could get. And not only did they beat him, they robbed him. What he had? His fish, his water, the little bit of money he had in his pocket, the little bit, and stripped him naked, butt naked. Completely took everything, took the sandals off his feet, took his cloak, took his tunic, took it all, and left him by the roadside to die, laying in a ditch, blood took off. Right at the beginning of the day. Still wasn't full daylight, so they did it kind of under the cover of darkness a little bit. I mean, it wasn't night completely. In about 15 minutes after they beat him up, the sun was up and the light was out. I mean, he was so beat up, cut, bleeding. He tried to get up, and the pain shot through his body. He couldn't walk. He couldn't get up. But luckily for Aaron, who comes walking by? Doctor. I mean, a healer. How lucky was Aaron? Gurgle out help. And the doctor looks over and sees him. And it's, and walked to the other side of the road so he didn't have to pass by him. He one of them like speed walks, like, don't look, please don't scream, I'm out of here. Hustles on down the way. And Aaron's sitting like, why didn't this man help me? And he's so much pain. His ears are ringing. It's just, why? His vision was going in and out. He's going in and out of consciousness. It didn't look good for him. It didn't look good at all. I mean, the first man, the doctor, shot on by him. Then a few hours later, maybe about 3 hours later, it's hot. He's sitting there naked. And lo and behold, a priest walks by. So the priest is going to help him. He's a godly man. Of course, he thinks he's a godly man. But you know what this godly man did? On the other side of the road, just like the last guy. Tried to pretend like he didn't see him and went on down. Why did the preacher not stop? Is he not a man of God? Why didn't he stop and help me? Aaron's in distress. He's down. He's in the blues. It didn't look good. I mean, he's still bleeding. He's steadily bleeding. A human body can only bleed so much. And he knew he was in trouble because he was like coming in and out of consciousness, fainting. And he would wake up and didn't know how long he was out. Back and forth. So then Aaron looks over. And he sees a man walking. He's like, oh no. The country this man's from, we've been fighting and we hate each other. So this man's liable to come over and kick me while I'm down because I can't get up and protect myself. So this time, Aaron was the one trying to be quiet. Quit moaning and groaning in pain, trying to hold it in. And then he looks over and the man sees him. He gives him like this desk there, I see you. I got you now, buddy. While you're down, I'm gonna get you. That's what Aaron was thinking. Oh, he's coming, please don't hurt me, he's coming. But what does the man do? Takes off his cloak, puts it on him, pours oil and wine over his cuts, because they didn't have rubbing alcohol in the day, and that was the only thing to really be clean with. Boiling water or alcohol to put on it. Not rubbing alcohol, but in wine that you would drink. So he pours it over the cuts. He tries to bandage him up as much as he can. One thing I failed to mention to you is the reason why this man was able to see Aaron down in the ditch, because he was actually up riding on his donkey. So he had an aerial view to look down. He picks Aaron up, gets him up on the donkey, takes the man's ride. The man gave him his ride, and he walks him to the next town. He goes to the hotel. He pays for the man to stay at the hotel for a week. That way he could heal up and get to where he's going. He gave the guy at the hotel that owned that extra money so that he would take care of Aaron. And he told the man, whatever else it cost, besides what I gave you, just does he do? He gives the hotel owner extra money and says, listen, I'll be back in a few days. And whatever that this money doesn't cover, I'll give it back to you plus more. Then he leaves. And if you don't know, this is Jesus Christ, Yeshua's, one of his most famous parables. It's about the Good Samaritan, because the man that picked Aaron up was a Samaritan, and Aaron was not a Samaritan. He was from Jerusalem, and he was going to Jericho, and they did not get along. They were enemies. They hated each other. But this is Jesus' parable about love your neighbor like yourself. Be like the Good Samaritan. Love everyone. We're all part of a flock. We're all sheep. And Jesus is our shepherd. He taught to love your neighbor like you love yourself. We need to do better, humanity. Are we going to let the devil lead us astray? Or are we going to start living for God and Jesus? Jesus' blood watered the seeds. Are we going to have a good harvest and love each other? Or are we going to let the devil burn us down? Shalom. I pray that our Father, King of the universe, Adonai, our Father, King of the universe, that we start doing better and learn how to love. That's the problem, is we forgot how to love.